everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to our 4 for 4 series. Now today we have up a layout 3 and we're going to be playing with the go-to design of the band, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But I wanted to talk about a little something if you want some inspiration and some pure eye candy. I'm going to give you some places to go. So the first would be Deborah Co. She is a subscriber here. Lovely Deborah has created a Facebook group, and she has also created a community, and in that community they share a lot of things that we talk about here on this channel, but it can be about anything. Yes, just run everything through Deborah. And then also too, she has some lovely people helping her. Donna has a morning coffee chat, and Karen's been uploading files, and then now they have started doing some technique and story prompts. I mean, just amazing group of people. So they have a lot of sharing on there with the 4 for 4, and please go see the kits that these women have made. I mean, beautiful. And then layouts, yes. Now I don't get to spend a lot of time over there, but please do yourself a favor, head over there and see what everybody's doing. Yes. And Deborah usually puts a link in about every video, so just look below, and I sometimes will have it in the description box, so hit that show more button. So definitely hop over there. Now on YouTube itself, there are some other lovely ladies that are doing the 4 for 4 series in the baby round, and I want to share them, and look below in the hit the show more button and I will have that listed. So JoJo is one of them, and her channel is Joanne Kelly Scrappy Confessions, I think. Yes, I think that's what it is. I will have JoJo's channel linked below, and then also to Shannon over at She's Crafty. She rocks the 4 for 4 series, so definitely check her out. And then also to Dolly at Scrapping on the Go. She does that. And then of course there's Daisy Niemeyer. Yes, she does beautiful work. And then Tina Gale has always been hopping in for the 4 for 4. I don't know if she's doing the baby round, but I'll have all those lovely ladies listed below, because even if you're not doing the 4 for 4 series, go check out their work. Very inspiring. So, and then also, if I missed anybody that you know, someone that's doing the 4 for 4 series on YouTube, please list their channel, because that's what this is all about, sharing and learning with each other. Because that's the only downfall of having your own YouTube channel and making content. You don't get to watch YouTube. No, it's usually, now I would have to say, I've been spring cleaning lately and I've been having everybody playing, but I don't get to comment and interact, you know, like I used to. But, you know, you leave comments when you can. That's just the way it is. Okay, so I wanted to say that there is so much inspiration. There's so many YouTube series going on right now. It is amazing how scrapbookers and crafters share and are so generous. I love that about this hobby. I mean, there's just so many seriously good series going on right now. Yes. Okay, so let's get cracking here. And of course, you know, I started layout 1 and layout 2 with a quote, so I'm going to do the same here. So I have this little quote book. Is anybody else a sucker for quote books? Yes, I'm just a sucker for books in general, but I have a quote here, and it says, "A mother's love is a blessing that will always be in your heart." Oh, isn't that special? Yes, I love that. I love that. And that is so true. Everybody loves their mama. Yes. And see, I know I have these type of books laying in about every room, about every tote I own. I have these. Just, I travel with them. You know, I just love them. Okay. I can get lost in a quote book. Okay. So let's talk about in layout 3, we're doing the go-to design of the band, and I will have that go-to design video listed below because we go into much more detail, and then I will have another start to finish listed below with the band design, because you can play. Now in this layout we're going to play with 4 pieces. Yes, just 4 pieces. Okay, and so for our number 1 we're going to have 2. Our number 1 is going to be 2 pieces of the same size, and they are simply 1.5 by 12. Easy peasy. Okay, now number 3, we're going to have a mega 7 by 12. Okay, there's a 7 by 12. And then our number 4, a 1/2 by 12. Okay, so that's what it is. So again, number 1 has 2 pieces, 1 and 1/2 by 12, 2 of them puppies, and then number 3, we have a 7 by 12, okay? And then, of course, our lonely little 4 is a 1/2 by 12. So you can already see in a band, Okay, if your bands are big enough, you can basically get in a happy horizontal. But you know, happy horizontal is where my brain is always going to be, because that was probably the first go-to design I learned, and I will never forget that. And that's just where my brain goes when it's tired. But for a band design, you can absolutely put it in the middle and start playing with these pieces in any form that you want, or skip these pieces if they're not cutting the cake, maybe not going with the photos that you want to use, we're going to be using 3 photos on this layout, but really mine's almost going to look like 1, so don't let that be a hindrance. So then we can also get a border, gotta watch that word, border strips or border stickers. Yes, I said it right this time. Yes. So you can absolutely get out some of these things and then you can play, okay? You do not have to use those papers that we used, okay? You can just keep playing with that till your heart's content, okay? Yes, just keep on playing, okay? And then you can make this band as wide as you want. Get crazy, yes, absolutely, okay? So you can just play with your stickers. Or then also what you can do is then, you know, we have washi. Our lovely washi. You can just keep on playing. Use 2 different types of washi. I love this yellow. I think yellow is universal. Yes, I love yellow for boy pages. I love yellow for girl pages, okay? And then, of course, you can incorporate these in as well, okay? So now that's another thing. You can shorten this band. You know, like I'm showing here with those border stickers where I said you can make it wider. You can absolutely make it shorter. But don't forget to play with your washi. And, of course, your ribbon. You know, I had some ribbon here, too. We could play with this. Oh, that's beautiful. Yes, beautiful. Now, I will tell you with my washi, I say this all the time, but I do have some new subscribers, is that for my washi, I do like to put this on cardstock first and then cut a strip. I think it shows up. It's just much more prettier, I think, okay? But with ribbon, oh, definitely. Ribbon. Looking at fridge ribbon, oh, that's just beautiful. Okay, so you can definitely play with that. And so then you can use all 3 of those supplies that we put on our kit in conjunction with these pieces here, okay? So, of course, you know, with that, let's just play around with these pieces here, shall we? Okay, so if we just put a simple band in the middle, and then we put our 1.5, I can put 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, and then of course we have this little piece here, and so you could put this down at the bottom as a little bit of a anchor, so your weight would be down here at the bottom. Easy peasy. That's a very pretty band. And then also too, you can turn it, and then of course you could put your band, your 1/2 by 12 here, and then you could just do your band that way, okay? Or what you can do then also too is you can shorten this. Okay, you can shorten it a little bit. That way you definitely see that band more easily. And then you can take your edge punch and give each of these pieces, this 1.5 and this 1.5, you could give that a decorative edge and then just put that right down there. Okay, easy peasy. Then of course, you know, with the band, you can go horizontal or vertical. There's no wrong way. And so how would you determine if you want to go horizontal and vertical? It depends on probably the orientation of your photos, but there's no wrong way to do that. No. Now I want to show you something with the band. Okay, now this is just a little something extra. Okay, say if I put the band here, okay, what you could do then maybe is how about overlap both of those? Okay, just overlap them a little bit. Put your little star, well, that's my star paper, but that would be your number 3 paper. And then you could take this 1/2 by 12 and you could put that just like that and create a really nice band that way, okay? And then the beauty of a band going to the left is that you can rotate it, and horizontally it'll be at the top. I mean, and then let's just keep on going around the merry-go-round. There it's at the bottom. You just can't do this wrong. But when you're thinking of this 7 by 12 piece, think of a band of paper, a belly band, okay? A waistband, okay? So you can move this up, you can move it down, you can center it, and then everything you do horizontally, you can do vertically. In the middle, here to the left, here to the right, okay? Now, if you're a 2-page gal, oh, let's talk about this, okay? Because I know there's some gals doing 2-page this round. So with this, a 7 by 12, so this would be your left, okay? And then you could play around here with these, okay? You could overlap those. You could even extend that 1/2 by 12 right there, okay? That would be your left. And then you would come over here, and then this would be your right. So you're going to do a mirror image of what you just did. Is that not a quick page? Quick. Yes, you can get a lot of photos on that band design right there. So don't be afraid to play with these, and that means getting out that edge punch. Yes, because these are pretty, but you can definitely dress them up. Okay, now let's talk about my photo for a minute. And I might be a little short of breath. I was doing some spring cleaning, and I think I hurt my ribs a little bit. Yes, I was moving too much furniture. Ugh, you know how that goes. Oh, man. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, one more thing before I forget. If you have any leftovers from layout 1 and layout 2, here are my leftovers. I'm keeping them all of them little snidbits. I'm keeping them right there. That is my leftovers. Because you know what? You can always tuck these little pieces in. So if you have leftovers, by all means, use them, but keep them separate as we keep going forward. But I'm not getting rid of any of these until I'm done with the cards, okay? So keep using those leftovers. If you had a 6x6 paper pad you pulled, whew, yeah, oh man, my ribs, I think I'm gonna have to get something. Yeah. If you had some scraps you pulled, if a 6x6 paper pad, please do that. And then don't forget that we also pulled some paper for matting. You can do that. Now the photo I'm going to use, oh my goodness, are you ready for this one? Because we're going a boy on this layout. Yes, and so I have my little boy here. Yeah, my little boy. Yeah, how about my big boy? I have some heritage photos of my hubby in the 60s, and I'm telling you what, is that just the orneriest little face you've ever seen? I told him, I said, I can't even imagine how ornery you were, but anyway, so I'm going to use 3 photos, but notice that they are all in a grid already, as like this would be one photo, but I'm using all 3 of those. And I got asked a great question, and it was about a start to finish I did last week, and it was how I had used a photo, and it was about my home, and I had used the same image twice, and someone asked me, why would you do that? And really it comes down to sometimes using the same photo twice, or in my case, in this case 3, it does 2 things. It emphasizes who and what you're talking about, and then also too, you know, it takes this photo and then makes it bigger, okay? So that's why you can use the same image on the same layout. There are no rules. Yes, and if anybody tells you any difference, tell them to come and see me. Yes, I'll set them straight. Yes, I'm in one of those moods. I'll set people straight. Yes, okay. So with the band, what will I be doing? I don't know. I kind of like this simplicity of this star paper. Of course, star and boys, yes. Okay, and then I think I will definitely get out my edge punch, yes, and give them a decorative edge. And I think I'm going to tuck them, tuck and roll, and I don't know, I think, and this may go on the end here. I don't know, I kind of like this look right here with this photo off the edge of my band. I think this is exactly how mine's going to go. Very, very simple. Yes, very, very simple. Give that some decorative edge, and then I'm going to be overlapping those 2 pieces of paper. Okay, now of course you have some washi and I have some ribbon, but I don't think I'm going to introduce gray on this layout. I could get this yellow in again, because what I'm going to do is, you know, we're going to play with embellishments again. You know, that's something I wanted to show. So I'm going to be breaking out these 2 scallop punches, and I'm going to be breaking out some twine. And we're going to see if we can start playing with a little bit of string art. Yes, that's what we're going to do. Now, that's the plan anyways. Okay, so now, oh, and then I think I'm going to break out the scoreboard. I'm going to show something else with that. Now, with my little baby here, my little boy, yeah, how about my big boy? Okay, so I wanted to show that sometimes look through your supplies, because I have no idea what for title. You know, I think I may ask my husband if he had a nickname growing up, or something about this time frame if he remembers. You know, the older you get, the harder it is to remember. But I'm going to be breaking out the boy things, okay? Okay, sorry about that. What I wanted to say was, in my kit, I went ahead and pulled some elements that is specifically for a boy, and just to focus on them, and then put the other things to the side, because I haven't even played with any of these yet. So, of course, you know, I have some brads, of course, you know, got to get those on there, okay? And then, of course, the stickers and things like that. But the reason I wanted to talk about this was because in your kit, it doesn't matter if you're doing boy or girl or both, look through your supplies in your kit to see what may serve as a title, because for my layout, I don't know of a title, and I'll have to come up with one soon, but you can find some elements, either a big die cut or chipboard that will serve as a title or even subtitles. That would definitely be fun. And so of course right here, the day you were born and a sweet little baby. I like this B for boy because I know I'm going to be playing with yellow. That would be fun. And then I could use that as a title base, meaning I could use that and then run my title off of that, you know, like a starter for a cluster. And then of course this one, it says I love you with a kitty cat. I think that's fun. Okay. Oh, now here's another quote. On the day you were born, angels clapped their hands and the moon danced with the stars. Oh, how precious. Yes. Okay. Now, another thing with baby embellishments, you know how they have a lot of numbers because, you know, month 1, month 2, month 3. So don't forget that even though he's not 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, but you could use one of those numbers for the month he was born. So keep that in your as an extra little way to use those numbers, okay? Or also the year. Very, very fun. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk about that. And then also, too, don't forget you have journaling cards. If you put those in there and see it says, hey, you love your face, that would be cute because I do love that little face. So I just wanted to talk about that. And so come back. I will come, you know, have my finished page and we're going to play with some embellishments. And, you know, I'll probably have a little tutorial because that's what we're doing in this rhyme. Okay, so come back and yes, does anybody else do this with their photos? Do you kiss your photos? Yes, absolutely. How can you resist these baby faces? I know. Okay, so come back in a few minutes. Okay, I'm back with my finished page, and boy, you talk about a fast page. That would be the band design. That go-to design of the band goes together so quick. And so, of course, let's talk about where those 4 pieces of paper landed. So, of course, my 7x12, which was my number 3, landed in this vertical format, easy peasy, yes. And then what I did with my number 4 paper, which was 1/2 by 12, just landed right here as a base for these punched edge pieces, which was my number 1. So now in my number 1, we had 2 1.5 by 12. So what I did was I took that 1.5 by 12, cut it in half, and so I would have 4 of these 3/4 inch pieces, and then I took 3 of these, and then of course I used my Martha Stewart and Baby Rattle punch, yes, and I did a decorative edge on 3 of those pieces that was in this size, and then I just overlaid them, overlapped them, and layered them on top of one another just to give a little bit of texture over here. Very, very fun. Okay, so that is where my 4 pieces of paper landed. Quick. Okay, and then of course I wanted to say, when you're working with something like this and you have these measurements, don't be afraid to take your papers and cut them in half or cut them in different sizes to fit what you want on your page. Like this 7x12, you absolutely could have cut that in half and played with that, even turned it into a different design if you wanted to. And then you don't even have to use all the pieces. So this leftover piece will go forth to layout 4. I may use it in then because see, I got that pink too. And so then of course I put those 4 pieces of paper, well actually, yeah, 4 pieces. I put them on a wood grain cardstock, of course, to go with my little boy blue here. And this was a Simple Stories paper from the Hello Baby line. See, that was the music, and then this is the wood grain. So sometimes you have to look on the back sides to find your wood grain. And so that is how simple this page is, because if you take away my embellishments and my photos, I mean, the design is so simple, but it doesn't look simple because of the use of color, the use of different designs, and then, of course, embellishments. Yes, okay. So, of course, I'm going to have a little tutorial at the end of the video if you want to see how I did these twine stars. We're going to play around with that for a little bit. Little tips and tricks I learned over the years of playing with this twine art. And so my photos, of course, is 3 photos. You don't have to use 3 because really this would just maybe consist of 1 photo or maybe 2 wallets. So a lot of different ways you can take that. And I took this 3 photos. They're all connected. And I put a piece of vellum behind that, and then I just added a couple photo corners, okay? And then along with that photo base, I took that sticker just to give my photos a little shelf, because otherwise they would feel like they're floating a little bit. And then my title is That Grin, because that came from my little one, because when she saw those photos, she said, yes, that grin. He still has that same grin. So I used some key words of what my little one said, describing these photos, and use that as my title. And then of course, remember that die cut I showed with the letter B? I used that as a cluster for my embellishment, and then of course I used a sticker for the base of my title. So then of course just sprinkled in some stars, enamel hearts, And we'll talk about visual triangles here in a little bit. And then I had some leftover pieces of vellum, so I just tucked them in. But of course, the showstopper is the photos and then playing with these embellishments, which I'm going to show you how to make them simple. Yes, all you need is paper, twine, and a little bit of washi tape. Yes, so we're going to talk about that. Now, there was one more type of embellishing I did on this page, and you may not notice it looking at it from this viewpoint, but you may see it in some close-ups. And what is that? Well, I broke out my scoreboard. Yes, I did. On this 7 by 12, what I did was I took that and I put it in my scoreboard. Okay, and I didn't use my trimmer, I actually used my scoreboard because you have to have the right increments. And so what I did, just pretend this is 7 by 12, and what I did was every 1/4 of an inch, I just simply ran a score line down the entire length of that 7 inches. Okay, now I want to show you something. Let me get a piece of scrap here because I don't want to ruin a 12 by 12. Okay, pretend this is my 7 by 12, and what I did was I just did a score the whole way down, every 1/4 of an inch, okay? And this is where a scoreboard comes in handy because it's so easy to see where that 1/4 of an inch is. You don't have to do a 1/4 of an inch, it's just what I did. And you'll see that in the close-ups. Now I want to show you, this is something, a little trick I learned. Because I get sometimes a little slap happy and I keep going a little fast. So say I'm just going along and I'm just having fun and I'm scoring and then I get off track. Oh yeah, we've all done that. Okay, the phone rings or whatever. So I have realized over the years, if I mess up, what I do is then I'll look like it was intentional. So I'll go to the next spot, whatever it is, and I will do a score line. Okay, and then I will come over here and do that same thing. And then I'll come over here and do that same thing. So then my mishap looked like it was intentional. So then I didn't change the number of this 1/4 increments. It's just in a couple places I ran those extra lines where I screwed up and then it looks intentional. And see if you can spy that on my 7 by 12 piece. So I wanted to show you that. I broke out my scoreboard as well for more embellishing with paper, just using a stylus, okay? And so can you see? Okay, now I will just point there. There's a little extra line, there's an extra line, and there's an extra line. Because I screwed up once, so then I just added 2 more screw-ups. That's how I make my screw-ups come into my scoring. I just follow that mark a couple other times, and then it'll look intentional. But you may see these in the close-up. So I wanted to show that. Don't forget to break out that scoreboard when you're playing with paper. It adds just a fun little touch. And plus, since my 7 by 12 is in the vertical band, in the vertical format, these vertical lines of the scoring just adds another element to your page. So remember, scoreboards can be your friend. Okay, hold on. So let's talk about visual triangles just for a minute, because if you look, of course, my embellishments of my twine stars, they make a very easy to see visual triangle. And then, of course, if you look at these blue word stickers and that label, that frame label, those all make a visual triangle. And of course I have 3 enamel hearts. They make a visual triangle. My stars make a visual triangle. And then up here I even have a visual triangle within a visual triangle. I had some leftover vellum pieces. I just tucked them here. They make a visual triangle. Okay, so very fun to do and use your embellishments as your visual triangle and give yourself some visual interest. But other than that, it's a very simple page. Very, very simple. It didn't take very long to do it. I had more fun playing with these twine stars than anything else, okay? So I think that is basically all for layout 3. And again, you do not have to use 3 photos. This really could consist of 2 wallets, yes. Or you could even extend it and put 4 on there. Or you could stack them, do 6. No wrong way. This is a perfect design for a 2-page, and we'll talk about that in June in our 4for4 series. We are going to be doing 2-page layouts in that 4for4 series. But you could take, see there's 3 photos here. You could stack another 3 photos on top of that and use this same design. Yeah, there's just no wrong way to do the band. And then, of course, you know, you can always go like that and use it in the horizontal sense. Very, very fun to do. So, of course, I will have the video listed below if you want more talking and showing about the go-to design of the band, and so many things you can do with that. So definitely hit that show more button. and look below for even more viewing time. So what we're going to do is we are going to now talk about these little twine embellishments if you want to hang on. If not, that is all for layout 3. Come back in a couple of days. We'll be doing layout 4 with 4 photos if you wish to. Okay, so I will pause there for a minute. And of course, we're going to talk more about these twine stars, what I did, you know, to beef them up a little bit, take them to another level. So hang on, I'll be right back. Okay, so let's talk about these twine embellishments. And of course, something I forgot to say in the previous segment was my journaling. My journaling will simply go right up above my title, and it will only probably be about 3 lines because my hubby doesn't have a lot to remember. He was only 6 or 7. So that is how simple my journaling will be. And of course, you could come down here with journaling, but that's where mine's going to land, okay? I didn't mention that. I always have so many things to talk about, and I always forget something. Okay, so now let's talk about these twine star circles using the scallop punch, okay? We'll talk about that. But I want to just show you for a moment that with this technique of the twine star, you can simply just use one piece of a punched image, just it. Or what you can do then is also layer it, okay? And then the other option, you know, taken to the level 3, is then you can start adding stickers and braids and everything else along with that twine. Okay, let me show you like that. Okay, so you could just do it like that. And then you could layer it, okay, and use it like that. Or this would be a finished piece, and there's a layered piece inside that. You could start adding stickers and braids right in with that, okay? And the reason I wanted to show that is because that is how I did mine. I took 2 pieces of a scallop punch in 2 different sizes, and then within my twine, I wrapped it around. I added some stickers, and then those finishing touches of enamel hearts, stars, puffy stars, things like that. So it just doesn't have to be just one piece of paper. You can take it up take it up to the next notch and start layering these, okay? And then the next notch, start using stickers and embellishments and braids. See, there's no end to how this can be. So let's talk about that. Okay, so I'm going to move this for a minute. Okay, love how this turned out. Okay, now I want to say one more thing before I forget this. How I adhered those was with score tape, okay? Because there is a little bit of a bump behind this because of the twine, so you want something to be very secure, and I did use score tape because I know if I would have used liquid, it wouldn't have been enough. ATG wouldn't have been enough, so I wanted, so these are not going to move at all, okay? So I did use score tape, okay? So let's get cracking here on these twine stars, as they call them. Now, if you are like me and around my age, you know that we did this way back in the day. I did this back in 4-H days where we did nail art. And so it was string art. So you just took a board with some nails and you learned to do different designs, okay? And then, of course, in scrapbooking, we brought forth that many, many years ago where we would take a design like this and we would put braids in each one of these bumps, and then we would do string art. But we're going to do today where you don't need any nails and you don't need any braids. All you need is a punch, piece of paper, and some twine, and a little bit of washi. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Now, what for these 2 punches here, this is the 2 inches, and then of course I have 1 3/4. But you could try whatever shapes you have for your punches. You have to have scallop punches, of course. Now, I want to talk about something just for a minute, and this is just something I have found over the years. I don't know if it's for real. It's just my experience. Okay, so say I have these, I have a whole set, and I would say, oh man, this would be a better set than having to worry about what size punches I have. The only thing I've ran into this type of technique over the years is that these scallops, if you notice, don't have as much of a bump as this punch. I don't know if you can see this. See how the punched image has a bigger bump? And you need that bump, okay? Because if it's too skinny, your twine's not going to tuck behind that, and it's harder to do. Okay, so that's one tip. So the punch shapes seem like that these bumps, let me point them in, and what I mean by bumps right here, these bumps are a little deeper, okay? And the twine, you can see the twine stays very well. If I use something, and of course not all dies are the same, but my die set, look at my bumps. My bumps are kind of skinny. Twine doesn't hold on that, okay? So that's just something I've learned. And then this is something I don't know if it's for real or not, but my dies here have an odd number. They have an odd number of bumps. This technique does not work on odd bumps. Okay, so each one of these dies, I have never successfully been able to do this twine technique with these because my bumps are too skinny and this has an odd number. I think there's, I don't know, I say there's 33, okay? But for my punched images here, these all have 14 bumps, okay? Even though, where's my other one? Where did I do with my other one? Oh, there it is. Okay. So even though these are different sizes, they all have this even 14 inches. So with that being said, when you're trying this technique, try your punch shape scallops first, okay? And try something on a small scale and see if that works better. Or if you have a die set and you have bigger bumps and it's an even number, then this technique will work. I just want to say that because you may start to try this and you think, well, it's not working, okay? It may not be you. It may be because you have an odd number of scallops on your die. It's just what I've ran into, okay? I wish someone would have told me that. Yeah, probably like 8 years ago. I would have saved myself some headaches and probably, to be honest, a few cuss words because I could never get it to work on those dies. And then I realized it's because they have an odd number of scallops. This technique doesn't work for that. That's what I found. I could be wrong. You know, we're always learning something new. Okay, so what we're simply going to do, okay, is I'm going to, and this is the biggest scallop punch I have, so I'm going to get a piece of white paper, and hopefully this will show up, because what I wanted to do was use a bigger image so you could see it, but I just don't have it, so we're going to work with this big piece right here. Okay, so if you wanted to layer, go ahead and layer this piece before you start this technique, okay, but I'm just going to simply do this. And so of course you're going to need some twine, okay. Now for your twine, you're going to need about 30 inches, I'd say 36, and so I do not measure this. You know what I do? I just start with a twine bundle, okay? You can't just have, let me find my end here. Oh goodness gravy, where's my end? Here it is. You can't just start with this big, you can't just start with this little amount of string and think it's going to work. You know, you need a twine bundle, okay? Because you don't want to have to run out when you're getting at the end. And again, this is very quick. There's only one thing to remember, and it's the number 4, okay? Just remember, we're in the 4 for 4 series. You have to remember the number 4 because that is your key number when it's to making this particular twine art, okay, with a scallop punch. Okay, so what we're going to do is flip this over and we're going to secure this tail to the back again with the washi, okay? That's why I said you needed washi. You could use Scotch tape, but we all have a roll of washi. That's not our favorite. And then what I say is take another piece of washi and have it ready for your ending piece. That way you don't have to lay your project down. Okay, so we are going to just secure this tail. Okay, now you probably can't see that now because it's white on white, but you will here in a minute. Okay, and it doesn't matter where you start. Okay, now when you're putting your washi and you're using twine or string, here's a little tip. Don't just put the washi over the string and expect it to hold. You need to take your fingernail or something and secure the edges of that twine, and that just gives a better hold. Okay, so give that little extra creasing along your twine sides. Okay, so what we're going to do is no matter where you start, you're going to remember the number 4. We're going to bring it to the front now. Okay, this is where your pattern is, and we're going to create this. Okay, that's what we're going to do. We're going to create that. It's very simple. So what you're going to do, and I'm going to do this a couple times, so don't worry. And if you mess up, all you do is just let your twine unravel and start all over. It's not going to be that difficult, but it takes a little bit of patience. So every scallop bunch, or what do I want to say? How about bump? Every scallop bump, okay, we're going to skip 4, okay? So right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to go behind that 5th one, okay? I'm skipping 4, okay? And then go behind the next one, okay? So then you're going to keep this tight a little bit, taut, okay? And then turn that. If you have to hold that with your hand, you can. And then I'm going to skip 4 again, and we're going to wrap behind that, okay? And then we're going to hold and turn and skip 4 again, okay? And you can tell right off the bat if you've started out right because there is a little triangle. That is the beginning of your star. How fun is that? Okay. Now, I had a thought going through my brain. What was it? I don't know. Keep moving on. Okay. So I am right there behind that. Okay. Where am I at? Right here. Okay. So then what we're going to do is then we are going to keep doing that same process until we get to the end. And I'll show you how you know you get to the end. So we're going to skip 4. Okay. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay. Now I would say, I think that's what I wanted to say. The hardest part about this is your concentration, just trying to keep in mind those 4 that you just skipped in order to grab that next one. Okay, so this is where I'm at, right here. And we're going to skip 4. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know I'm going to skip this one because it already has twine behind it. So if you are putting twine twice behind a bump, you've made a mistake. Okay, so we're going to skip 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now after you've done these for a while, you can almost tell yourself you know where it's going to go, but don't rely on that. Definitely count your 4. Okay, we're going to keep on going. So you see how I'm wrapping and turning. So I'm counting. That's how basically what it is: counting, wrapping, turning. So I'm counting 4. Okay, I'm right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm wrapping. Then I'm turning. Counting, 4, wrapping, turning. Counting, wrapping, turning. Okay, so you see where those scallop bumps come into play. If they're skinny bumps, your twine absolutely will not hold as you do that turning. It just won't. I know, I've tried. It just won't. This scallop here, these bumps are more bigger than those bumps. Yes. Still a pretty scallop, but, you know, and every die is going to be different. So mine don't work, but that doesn't mean yours won't work. Okay. So I'm right here, and so I'm counting 4 and wrapping. Okay. And counting 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, wrapping. Okay. And I hope you can see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrapping. Okay. And 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, wrapping. Still not done. Okay, now I want to show you. Okay, we'll get there in a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a wrap. Okay. Now, here's how you can tell that you're at the end, because you have a slice of pie right there. I'll point that out. Okay, you see how this part here is not wrapped around? That's how you know you're done. Basically, when you're completing, and I'll cut this off here a minute. When you have your circle completed, now ignore that washi tape, but that's how you know it's completed, because it's like a piece of the pie is missing. That's how you know you're done. So that's why I say have that washi already ready, and then just secure that, and then that is your twine star. I mean, easy peasy. Okay, let's do it again. Why not? Okay, I'll just punch another one here. Okay, we'll punch another one. Okay, this is again, this is my 2-inch punch. Okay, and if I wanted to layer, we'll do that now too. Yes, why not? I have my ATG here. We'll just keep on playing. But like I said, if you're trying this in the beginning, and it's not working for you, because this is something that's easy to do, if it's not working for you, count your bumps in your scallop. You may just have a punch or a die that won't work, because I have found that you need an even number of those scallop bumps. Okay, that's what I have found. Okay, now if someone else knows that different, okay, that's what it's going to look like. That's pretty right there. Oh man, put that embellishment right there. Oh yeah, now we got another one. Isn't that pretty? Just simply layering with paper. Yeah, there's a 2-for-1. There's another one. Okay, so we're going to do this again. Okay, and I will move this white paper. Maybe things would be better. Maybe you could see that a little bit better. Okay. And I'll show you again what my layout looks like if anybody wants to be done right here and don't want to watch anymore. That's what it looks like. Easy peasy. I'm telling you, it's fun. It's fun. And this is something you can do when you're traveling, going down the road. What do you need? A little bit of washi, pair of scissors, twine, and just pre-cut some scallop circles and go to town. Yes, absolutely. I've done that before. Yes. I love doing a little lap crafts as I'm traveling down the road. Okay, so I did my layering here. And we're going to do this again if you want to hang on, because sometimes it's nice to see it done twice rather than having to rewind. That's what I say. So I'm going to get my twine or my washi ready, okay, because then you don't have to lay down your project. And again, you're starting with a twine bundle, not just a little piece, okay? And we're going to flip this over to the back and we're going to secure that. Doesn't matter where you start. Doesn't matter at all, okay? And we are going to give it an extra little secure by running our fingernail or whatever you have to keep that twine from pulling, okay? So here we go again. I'm telling you, I have everything laying around, and I spent 30 minutes today cleaning my room. Oh, yes. My husband said to me the other night when he was in here, because I have a chair in my room, and he'll come in here and he'll sit with me at times. He'll say, I'm always saying, oh, excuse the mess, excuse the mess. He said, no, that just means you're having fun. I'm like, oh, yes, it is. Okay, so starting anywhere, we are going to remember the number 4, okay? We're going to skip 4 bumps, okay? We're going to count 4 bumps. Count, then we're going to wrap, and then we're going to turn. We're going to count 4 bumps, wrap, and turn. And we're just going to do that consistently. I'm going to try to hold this up a little bit more because I don't have a zoom or anything with my iPhone. So we are going to count 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and wrap, okay, and turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. Now, I just want to say this. You don't wrap on the 4th. You count 4 and then a wrap, okay? There's a big difference there. Okay, so I'm counting 4 and then I'm wrapping around the next, okay? Counting 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I was holding it a little closer, but then I can't see my 4. Sorry. Okay, I'll try to do the next one a little closer. Okay, so try to visualize where I'm going to go. Okay, I'm going to count 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to wrap. Okay, and then that's just a continual process. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. Okay, now let's turn this around. So you can tell I'm far from being done. Okay, but I made a mistake. Okay, and how do I make a mistake? I will show you. Okay, so I'm going to count 4, but I made a mistake and I wrapped the wrong one. And how can you tell? This is how you can tell if you made a mistake, because you have 2 twine wraps around a scallop bump. There should only ever be 1 wrapping of twine around each bump, okay? So when you get to this right here and it's like, well, I already was there. Yeah, you made a mistake, okay? So if you make a mistake, just unwrap your last one or just start all over, okay? No, I've done that many, many times. That's all part of learning. Yes, okay? Of course, when I was little, I didn't think that. No, okay. So we're going to count, wrap, count, and wrap. And I think the hardest thing is just keeping your visual where you need to wrap. Okay, and then of course holding and turning. Okay, and I'm doing that. I hope you can see what I'm doing. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrapping. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. I'm turning. Pretty soon I'm going to break out into a song here. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. Wrap and snap. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2, 3. And again, the more you do these, it just becomes second nature. So you know when you have 2 twine wraps behind that same bump, you just know you made a mistake. You just start over. Okay? And so 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I should be, yeah, I was going to say I should be getting close. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, where am I at? See, I just lost track. 1, 2, 3, 4, wrap. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and I'm back to where I started. See, there's that open piece of the pie that's missing. That's how you know you're done. And so we're just going to snip, and this is why having that twine or that washi already ready, because I was holding at the same time. Okay, because you don't want to let go, because then you're going to have to redo your work. Give that a little extra secure, creasing to hold that. And again, there you go. The twine star. Yes, absolutely. How fun is that? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so that is the twine star. That is how it looked like on my page. Very simple to do, and just another embellishment. Yes, and what do we have? Twine paper and a piece of washi. Yes, very, very fun. And remember, your key number is 4. And on my scallop punches, they're even number of bumps. I think that is the difference, because over the years, if I didn't have that even number, this just never worked out for me. So just keep that in the back of your mind. It may not be you. It may be the number of scallops you have on your punch or your die. Okay, so that's all I have for layout number 3. Come back in a couple days. You know we're going to have layout number 4 with 4 photos if you choose to. And I don't know what for embellishments we're going to play with, but I'm going to find something for us to play with. Okay, so that's all I have for now. Come back to RTS because you never know what we're going to do. Bye.